Hi, my name is Melissa Laughlin. It is April 15th, and I am going to be discussing same-sex marriage on my last paper and Solomon's book on same-sex marriage and marriage equality. So I'm going to start by talking about the first time in American history same-sex marriage was permitted in Massachusetts in 2003. This movement started marriage equality, and an activist response erupted. It erupted in the sense of political and social responses, not only just through the government, but on social media in retaliation to its revolution. So Massachusetts' choice in permitting same-sex marriage, in my eyes, was inevitably supporting the claim for same-sex marriage and marriage equality in general. So the ruling of Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court changed the infrastructure of the Constitution forever, and this sparked an activist response because it had never been done before. So I thought this was extremely brave and outstanding because if Massachusetts did not begin this marriage equality revolution, who would have? After reading this book and the articles assigned in the lecture, my mind began to race with questions. So who has the right to marry? Do we have the right to even question anyone's civil right for equality? So Solomon brought up some really crucial points in his reflections earlier on in his book. He stated that many political figures, including Senator Kerry, he used as an example, who was a Democratic presidential nominee, began to fight actively against gay marriage and even compared it to the infamous Dred Scott decision that denied citizenship to blacks in America. So I was extremely shocked by this because it is another claim to deny the right of gay couples to legally announce their commitment for religious or conservative beliefs, but to compare it to a fight for freedom of African Americans in the United States is blasphemy in my eyes. So I don't even understand the comparison, but many Republicans and conservatives believed that this was seriously influential. So I believe that America has come a long way in the last 200 years, and we have increasingly become more and more liberal and accepting of entities that we would never have dreamed of 200 years ago. So individuals began to rely heavily on the Catholic Church, stating that this was sinful, and in order to support religious freedom, same-sex marriage and acknowledging same-sex partners is unacceptable. So Solomon asks if states and judicial systems can make decisions outside the written word of the Constitution. Is the Constitution so set in stone that these permissions are deemed illegal? So I thought this was really interesting. And if so, then why is it now that over half of the states in America have also allowed same-sex marriage and private courts are now dictating civil rights in general? So I'm just going to talk about a little bit about DOMA, which is the Defense of Marriage Act that was discussed as well. And because this act was enacted in 1996, and actually refused to allow same-sex marriage in state laws and did not allow these partners to receive federal marriage benefits. So after this, I can just reflect on Obama's campaign. In Obama and the Democratic Party, this act was deemed void in the Constitution since individuals have the right to make their own choices for marriage and is not being radically supported throughout the United States. So cases like the United States versus Windsor is a great example that make these constitutional changes permissible and even fair in my eyes. So because the Constitution is meant to liberate and give rights to all equal citizens and not bind individuals to the conservative outlook on political strains or laws. So, and also more and more young adults are becoming active in the response to same-sex marriage, and I think that is so influential and important. An example of this is Obama's original remarkable presidential campaign that created the largest turnout for under 32-year-olds in the history of presidential campaigns, which is outstanding. So more and more young adults voted in his presidential campaign than over the age of 62, which is seniors, which is unheard of. So Obama is also a huge enforcer of these liberal insights and supports same-sex marriage, so his followers, these young adults, believe in the same rights. I personally support same-sex marriage, even though I do see myself more as a conservative versus a Democrat, but I just believe that everyone has their own choices in life, and marriage is definitely one of those choices.